Once you are logged into TextBox 2.0, you will notice that all of your icons down the left-hand side, starting with messages, message stream, contacts, scheduled messages, templates, settings, autoresponders, admin, and then at the very bottom, your personal profile avatar. The first column is your messages conversations. When you click on a conversation, it will pull up into the middle. And then over on the right-hand side, we have this field where you can edit your contacts. You can turn this contact edit on and off with the toggle switch in the top right-hand corner. I leave this turned on all the time because when you're dealing with a lot of unnamed contacts, this is a very quick way to edit those and keep them saved. As you click on the message stream, you will see that the entire conversation is streamed out. And it is just a different way to see it. You can also search the conversation here or download it. If you want to look at one of your other numbers, you can also select that here also. Under contacts, we've done a few changes. You've got contacts and groups right here together. All of these fields are sortable across the top. We also have an import, export, and add contact directly from here. If you want to import contacts, all you have to have is a CSV file or Excel file. You will hit the import button, select a file from your drive, you will notice that in the file columns, these are all the columns I have in my file. TextBox columns is everything we're looking for. You don't have to complete all of these, but what you're going to do is pair phone with phone, your contact one with contact one, and so on as you go down. If you have stuff in contact two, you can include it. For me, the notes are going to be your groups. And then also, if you want to do a text merge, you can include the message body here also. Once that is complete, you will hit continue. It will validate all of your rows for you. If there's anything invalid, it will show red for you and you can remove the invalid rows before uploading. And then you will just hit the upload valid rows when you are ready. We will go over scheduled messages in a moment. Next are the templates. Templates can be created per user, but they can also be shared across your team. You notice that there are messages at the bottom that have little people with them. Those are the public templates. Those are the ones that are shared. One thing about public templates is the only person that can edit those is the person that created them. So you will notice that this one has a name with no pencil or anything. So that means if something needs to be changed, we would have to contact this person. The bottom two are ones that I created, so I am able to edit those. Of course, the top ones are all only mine. If I want to create a new template, you just come into the add template, create a template name, put the text here that you want to include, and then if you have multiple numbers, you'll be able to choose which numbers you want it across. You can put it across all of them or just leave it on the one you're in. And if you want to make it public or not, this is where you would choose it. If it's green, brown, that means it's going to be public. If you have it gray, then it's going to be off and only be yours. And then you would hit save at this point and it would save your template for you. Templates, just for a little background, these are things that you type over and over and over. It just eliminates you having to type it, have spelling errors and that kind of stuff. You'll just quickly be able to insert it into your conversation. And we'll go through that during the messaging. After templates, you have settings. In the settings field, you've got two-factor authentication. So if you're a person that likes a little more security, then you'll want to be able to turn this on. Green is on, gray is off. The hide tag filter, I always leave this off because I want to be able to see my tag filter, and I'll show you where that is in a moment. But if you don't use tags and don't care about the filter, you can just click this off there. Dark mode, exactly what it says. A lot of apps are having this now. It gives you a light version like we're seeing, or you can change it to a dark version. This is how I run 99% of the time in my real accounts. There's also 4 different fonts that you can choose from. So you can just play with those and see how they work. Going down from there, enter as send. With this off, what that means is that you can use carriage returns in your text messages. If you have this turned on where it is green, that means as soon as you hit the return button, it's going to automatically send those messages. I always leave this turned off because a lot of times I use carriage returns. And also, if you're a keyboard person, you can use Control-Enter to quickly send a text to when you're in your messages and not have to worry about just this enter to send. You'll create your signature here. One thing to remember about signatures is this is a text, so you don't want to take up a lot of characters with it. You don't need your phone number because they already have it because you're texting from it. You don't need your address. You don't need your fax number, any of that stuff that you would put in the email signature. You don't need to put here. Just keep it short and sweet and keep your character count down. Next is include signature. I always leave this turned on here, and that's because there's a faster way to turn it on and off once you're in the messages. So you can leave this on or off, but I always leave mine on. The show last message and conversation list. What this does is this will show you out in the conversation list a phone number, a name it's from, and then a little snippet of the conversation. If you turn it off, all you're going to see is the name and the phone number. I'll leave mine on because I always love a little snippet, but I'll show you what I'm talking about once I get back out to the messages. The clear unread when conversation opens, I leave this off. What that means is when there's an unread message that comes in, if you click on that message and open it, if this is on, that would automatically clear the message. Because I work in an office with multiple people, there may be a message that somebody else needs to read. So I leave this off so that I can look at messages and keep up with things, but it'll still stay marked as unread until somebody clears it or responds to it. And I'll show you a little bit more about that. When you first get TextBox 2.0 on your computer, you'll want to subscribe to these notifications. This just lets you know when a message comes in. So you'll subscribe to it as you sign on. And then also the SMS one, you can set this up as on a delay. So if a message comes in, it hasn't been read in a set amount of time, you will get a text message on your cell phone letting you know that there's a unread message so you can go check it out. At the very bottom, you see the software information. You'll see the app version, the last time it was updated, and you can always check for updates here also. Next are your autoresponders. So when you click on the autoresponders, you can see they are all here. The autoresponders you can set up different ways. One new feature we've added this time is you actually set up your office hours. So it'll make your responders a little bit faster to set up too. We've got ours just set up for pretty basic office hours. You'll see here. So when you go in to set up a new responder, you'll name it anything you want. You'll put in the message that you want, and you will choose when you want it to fire. If you choose all times, then it's going to fire 24 hours a day. If you choose office hours, it's going to fire only during your office hours that you have set. After hours, of course, is after your hours that you have set. So if you close at 5, it'll start right at 5, shooting that autoresponder out. And then custom time, You can create these for holidays and such like that. Once that's created, you'll go ahead and hit save. We'll do it as after hours. Hit save there. And you can see that it's set up at that point. You can also do keyword autoresponders. So if a person texts in a keyword, then they will get an automatic response back associated with that keyword. Going down from there, you have the admin panel. The manager usually has access to this, and it's where new users are created and updated also. So once you're here, you'll go to account users. You'll see all the listed of users that you have. If you want to create a new user, you'll put in their email address here, check user, and then you can add them in. This is where you give them permissions to do various things too. If you want them to be able to manage, you can check the manage box. Most of the time, this would be off for most people because you don't want everybody to be a manager. And then you'll do the read, send new, reply. If you have MMS capability, you can click the send MMS. If you want to delete messages, that's up to you. We usually only recommend that the managers have the ability to delete because we found out over the years that conversation history can be very important. So just keep that in mind when you give permission to delete messages and conversations, because once they're deleted, you can't get them back. After that, update contact and then send a group also. And then you will save those users. If you need to edit anything in the user, you'll click the little pencil. It'll pull up. You will want to put the user's real cell phone number here because this is used for password resets as well as the two-factor authentication. The username, we keep a pretty standard format of using the first letter of their first name and their entire last name. And then you can put a generic password here. Once they're in, they can reset up their password through their own avatar profile. Going down from there, you've got, as I mentioned, the individual profile. So if you click on that, it's basically the same box we were just in. It's got all the same information. And then you can click the update password here. You put in the current password, your new passwords, and you'll be done at that point. We'll go back to messages to show a couple things. The tag filter that we were discussing earlier, the bar that you can turn on and off, that is right here. What tags are used for? The way we use in our office is, say I'm out of the office for a couple days and a message comes in for me. My coworkers aren't going to want to leave that message unread until I get back. They're going to help the customer out and then tag me in it so that when I come back in a couple of days, I can filter by all my tags and then go back and review those conversations. So I can click my tags here. It'll narrow down to all the conversations that I'm tagged in. And then, like I said, I can go through those. Once I'm done with them, I can just right click on it, do the tags again, untag myself from that conversation, and it will go away knowing that that is done. So then I'll just go back to the untag filter and I'll be able to see everything at that point. It's just an easy way to do it. Another way to use this is if you have multiple people in your office, you can tag the conversations to whoever they pertain to. The one thing I would say is that I would recommend that everybody keeps their tag on and then the untag. That when a new message comes in and it's untagged, somebody sees it and they'll be able to push it to where it needs to go. As we mentioned earlier, the search bar up here, you can search for anything you want in any of these fields. So if you know their name, if you know their phone number, if you know any of that information, then you can search for it here and go down. It's a very easy way to use it. If you want to filter your messages out, what you can do is you can filter all, you can filter unread only, and last message failure. 99% of the time, I always leave it in all. If I send out a large text and replies start coming in faster than I can respond to them, then I will use the unread only and filter that down. So that's just something to help you with there on your filters. If you want to send a new message, you'll click over this brown bubble with the plus sign. You can search for the people here. So again, you just click along, find the person you need. You can keep adding them. Now, if you send out a message in a group like this is not a group message like you're used to on your cell phone where you've got 3 or 4 family members and everybody sees everybody's conversations and replies. These are all 100% private conversations. So even though you're sending it out together, they're all going to be individual conversations, more like a BCC for email. And then when they come back in as replies, they'll all be individual conversations when they come back also. So you can select all your people here. If you want to use a template, you can come down to the bottom where the little templates are, click on that, insert your template. And when you do, you'll notice that it inserts everything into the box right here. I'm not going to send this, so we're going to go ahead and clear it out. You can also search for your groups right here. You notice it says type name or number, or to start with your hashtags for groups. So if I type a hashtag here, it's going to show all of the groups I have in this account. And you can just choose one of those groups and send to a text that way too. You notice that in this group, there's 24 contacts. So I could send this text out to 24 people at one time. Going across the message tools here at the bottom, if there was an unread message, this would be bright green right here. You would click on it, it would mark the message as read. If you have the ability to attach pictures, you also have the ability to now attach PDFs. So you would just use that feature here. As I just mentioned, the templates are here. Earlier, I mentioned that I always leave signatures turned on in settings. That's because you can turn it on and off right here much faster. You know, you just click on and off and it gets rid of the signature for you. If you are an emoji person, we now have emojis. One thing I want to warn you about emojis is they do take up a lot of character space. So a normal character or a normal text string is 160 characters. If you send one emoji or you send 5 emojis, that 160 characters goes down to 70 characters per segment. So just think about that when you're sending emojis. It does cut down on the number of characters you're able to have in a segment of text. Over from there is the dynamic fields. Now, I don't ever use dynamic fields sending individual text, but if I was doing a text merge, I would use dynamic fields there. And basically what they do is they take the contact fields that you have over here on the right-hand side, field 1, field 2, and you'll notice that we have dynamic fields for CF1, CF2, and then we also have this CF1 first. What this does is that it will take the first section of contact field 1. So when you are putting your contacts in, just think about that when you're setting up your contacts. If you do first name, then last name, contact field 1 would be the first name. If you have last name, comma, first name, that CF1 first is going to be that last name. So it makes customizing text a little bit harder. But what you can do here is, say that you're doing an appointment reminder, you can come in and do hello, hello CF1. So I would just come here, insert CF1 first, and then you would continue on, you know, thank you for coming by today, etc. You know, whatever message you need. And then when I send this, you'll notice that just a second, it's automatically going to put my name in there because this is contact field for me. So it says, hello, Brian, thank you for coming in today. And like I said, you would continue your conversation there. That's how the dynamic fields work. We also have this new feature called comment mode. So sometimes you'll be working with coworkers and you'll look into a conversation, you know something about that conversation that's going on, but you don't want to jump into the conversation and take over. What you can do is you can come here and put a note in. If I could write, put it in the comment section and hit comment. Now anybody that's working in this conversation is going to see this comment in there. So you don't have to jump into the conversation, you don't have to take it over, but you do give your coworkers a little bit of information that can help them. You know, if it's that they owe money, that they need to sign something, anything like that, then you can get that information to them. If you ever need to get rid of this, then you can just right click on it, hit delete message. The one thing about these comments is nobody will see these comments except for the people in your office. There's no way for this message to ever get to your customers or anything like that. When you're done with the comment field, You just turn it off, get back into the normal text conversation. One other thing we have here is the scheduled messages. So say that you have an event going on. You come in the morning, you want to prepare a message to go out in the afternoon. Because say your event's at 6 p.m. tonight, if you send out a reminder now, a lot of people are going to forget about it before then. So if you send out that reminder about 5, what you can do is come in here, say, hope to see you tonight at da-da-da. You will set the reminder for, say, 4 p.m. tonight. We'll go 4:25 p.m. just to make it easy. And then hit schedule. It'll show up here in the conversation as yellow. And then at 4:25 tonight, when you're setting up for your event and you're busy, that will automatically go. If you ever need to edit this, what you will do is you will come back over to the scheduled messages. It'll show up here. You can click edit and it'll take you right back where you can edit it. Or if you decide that you want to cancel it, you can come here again to the scheduled messages, hit delete, and it will delete it for everybody that's sending to. So it's a much more efficient way to do that. Last couple things to go over. If you need to save a conversation, you can click the download button here. If you need to search for a conversation, you can click the search. Whatever is highlighted here green is where it's going to search. So right now it's only going to search in the Brian Bazinet contact. If I want to search in the entire number, click this toggle, that'll search the entire number. And then I can come in and say the word test. And it's going to pull up where test is in every single conversation we have. And then you can find what you need. If you want to search a part number, you want to search a person's name, anything like that, you can find it there. You see that on mine, I have a trash can. If you have delete enabled for you, then you'll have this trash can. If delete's not enabled for you, this trash can's not going to be there. Again, just be careful when you're deleting stuff because once it's gone, we can't recover it for you. Thank you for taking the time today and looking at TextBox 2.0. If you have any questions, please contact us. You can come here to the top, type in TextBox support, and you'll notice it pulls up our number. You can call or text us at this number, and we'll be glad to help you out. Thank you.